what pitches have you asked for driving for pitches?
I think I learned my lesson from that. Yeah, this series just gonna. I think Australia and South Africa are two very similar teams, conditions-wise. They play on the same conditions, so there's nothing different that we're expecting. We just obviously when you're playing against a subcontinent team, you're trying to get an advantage somehow. But the two teams in South Africa and Australia are very similar, as I said, in conditions. So we both will play on what we get. We've asked for nothing specific. Sorry? Temba Bavuma hasn't recovered fully from his hand injury, so that's the one thing I can tell you. And then we're still pondering on whether we want to play 7 batsmen or 6 and 4 seamers. It's good to go.
Faf, having said that you'll play on what you get, just what are you guys expecting? I mean, the Northeast Indies playing normally makes it pretty flat. Is that what you're expecting? A good batting with the pitch?
I think, just my opinion, obviously the Durban wicket the last few years has definitely slowed down a bit, and that's just the nature of the square. So I expect that it will be quite slow. It might take a bit of turn in the Test match. If anything, maybe a bit of tennis ball bounce. No, I think injuries. If you take 3 or 4 guys out of any team, if you take Virat Kohli out of the Indian team, it will be a different team. So, as I've said so many times, especially about experience in Test cricket, it's my opinion that you can't just take out 3 or 4 guys and then expect to replace them overnight. They're there for a reason because they've done it for a very long time in international cricket. And this is very unfortunate that it happened. It was obviously the plan before the series to have a look at 1 or 2 guys through the series. I think the selectors had the opportunity of looking at a few more than they wanted, but you can take learning from that as well. The coach has seen a lot more players, so yeah, it was frustrating watching, but I understand that. I understand the reason.
With your figure, do you feel vulnerable at all? You haven't really batted much at all, and do you feel like it? If it comes again?
Yeah, I've played with finger injuries before, so I think the biggest battle you have to get over is the mental side of things. I've had 3 good nets over the last 3 days just to get a bit of hitting a lot of balls in. But the biggest thing is to mentally be ready for the battle, and I'm ready for that.
Just a word on Ronnie Walker and his decision to retire, and also can you just chat about options who will replace Ronnie as well?
Yeah, Morne, an absolute legend of a servant of South African cricket. Been a great team man for the last 10 to 12 years. He's really served the team well. He will be missed, but as he said, that we understand fully why his reasons of going. He's got his family to look after, so we support him in that. Difficult guy to replace. As I've mentioned before, your experienced seamers are very important. The good thing though is that we've got Lungi Ngidi that's coming through to take his place when the time is there, and obviously we've got Dale Steyn hoping to get back as well. So as long as if you have options available, I think certainly in those 2 we do have the options available.
Well, you talk about home ground advantage, but you've gone to Australia and beaten them, then come here and beaten you. How do you size up this battle in terms of what you've already achieved this summer to what is expected when the battle begins?
Yeah, it's a strange one. You're expecting obviously our home conditions to suit both teams, and it hasn't. I remember the last series we played here was a really, really close one. Morne getting bowled the last half an hour of the day there at Newlands. So it was a tough series. Obviously, when you play Australia, you expect nothing less. But especially this series, we really want to try and put a peg in the ground to change that. You know, I know it's easier said than done, but we're a strong test team. We've had some good results, and we're looking forward to which will be a really, really tough test series.
Quite a few test captains in the last year or so have been tearing their hair out trying to work out how to bowl the six. One went past him. You've had time with him at the 5BL. Do you think that closeness to him or time around was helped you or not?
Yeah, he's had a really good season. He scored a blockload of runs. Yeah, I hope so. I hope that there's a bit of experience there that I can take into the game, and you know, even leading up to the previous series where we played against him, he was still their best batter, but to some degree we did keep him quiet. He's obviously a very big player for them. You know, similar to what I said about the Indian team, you know, they've got one or two standout star batsmen, and if you can put pressure on them and keep them quiet, that generally reflects how your series will go.
Just one on the sort of cricket that Australians play against each other. Is it, you know, both teams strong base bowling attacks like to drive the game forward? I mean, is it some of the best cricket that you play?
Yeah, I would say it's the most competitive series that you play. We're both very passionate, competitive cricketing nations, and we try and leave it all out on the field. So it's certainly it's great entertainment for the people watching. So we're all ready to go, and I'm sure the Australian cricket team is excited to start the series as well.